right, what is up, guys? Welcome to episode 21 of Live in the Shop with CustomLowz. We're continuing. This is part 2. We're working on this enclosure for 2 DC Audio level 5 18s. I think I mislabeled the video again, but either way, it'll be fixed when you non-live people are watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're here, let me know in the comments below. We've already sanded this with 80 grit, 220, or no, 80 grit, 120. Now we're jumping to 220, and then we got to do 320. We already did some wood filler. I went around, got the spots where I felt I missed. So we're going to be re-sanding those areas as well as the entire enclosure. Again, for those who didn't watch part 1, this thing is getting a true black stain on the outside, so that is the reason why we are sanding so many different grades of sandpaper. All right, let me pull up the comments here. All right, if you guys are watching, let me know in the comments below that you're here. All right, so grab my mask, and then we will get started. All right, so that was 220. Now we're going to go to 320. I did kind of shape some little areas by the subs just in the back wall. Just figured they look a little better that way. Do have to add a tiny bit of filler. A little more air, a few more areas I noticed while I was going. All right, one thing I am going to do is I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to use the heat gun on these two spots of filler just so I can get it dry, because I only have 320 left, and then we can start staining, and the filler is going to be the only thing that's going to hold us back. So you can use a little bit of a heat gun if you don't have too much. If you have a lot, the heat gun is going to make it crack. So I wouldn't advise doing it, but I have just a little bit right here that I want it to dry quicker than it's going to naturally in the air. So I will also sand these last. I'll do like every other part of the box except this, but it's still going to take a little bit of time for this stuff to dry. So I want to give it some assistance now. Michael Groves, what's up? Colby, how's it going, man? See you later, Colby. Probably already gone, I'd assume, but thank you for tuning in for the time you did. Yeah, Michael Groves, the black stain does hide some of it, but I think it'll still show a lot of the grain in this thing. All right, so one last round of sanding on this beautiful thing, and we're ready for stain. Found a brad nail I didn't notice the first time around, so I'm tapping it in and filling it up. Alright, so I have a small area on the box that's giving me a little bit of trouble. Between the layers, obviously you have glue, and it's an area where a little bit of glue is squeezing out, and the wood filler just wasn't sticking, so I actually had to go and kind of gouge the area out a little bit deeper just to get the glue away, and then I'll have to go back and fill it in. So basically I'm just going to put on small little layers of wood filler, dry it, small layers, dry it. It's not even really thick, it's just I don't want to have to wait 2 or 3 hours for this to dry, so just doing little layers at a time, then dry it out with the heat gun. This is definitely time consuming, but it saves you waiting on this, thing to dry. It's an hour or two till we can sand it. So we might spend 30 minutes doing this, but it's going to be better than 2 hours of dry time and just sitting around twiddling your thumbs. Hopefully this don't take 30 minutes, so I don't think it will. So far so good. Hopefully this is our last layer. I'll probably even get our stain ready and clean out the inside of the box in the meantime. We'll sand this like the very last thing we have to do, just to give it as much dry time as possible. That's the thing that kind of about custom work too. I say that frequently. It's going to be a new catchphrase. That's the thing in custom work, sometimes you're gonna sit around and wait for stuff to dry for a while. I mean, even stupid little things like this can sometimes slow you down for 30 minutes to an hour or however long. Alright, we're going to call that good. I'm going to clean the inside of the box out. We got to vacuum some stuff out before we stain it. We also got to do some taping off of windows. We're going to clear coat it after staining it, so we want to just prepare it now. Because once you start getting stain on stuff, like even on the windows, it just has an oily substance that it leaves behind, and you're not going to get tape to stick no more. Even on the wood surfaces, if you want to tape something off now, you better do it now before you stain it, because afterwards it's going to stay oily, and none of your tape's going to want to stick to anything. Alright, I'm going to start getting ready to tape the windows off. I'm going to give that filler again as much time as totally possible. Jose, what's up, man? Saturday. It's Sunday. I had to look actually when I read that. I get back to work. I just like to drop in every once in a while and say what's up, everyone and Justin. But I got to go back to work. See you later, Jose. Thank you for tuning in, man. It is Sunday though, by the way. All right, so we got this thing sanded, wood fillered. We are now going to start taping off the windows. We're waiting on that. There's two little spots of wood filler that were just giving us one heck of a hard time. So we're going to move on to some other stuff. We cleaned out the inside of the box. We're going to blow it out with the air real quick just to make sure. The vacuum does good, but definitely leaves some little fine dust in there that you're going to blow out. After that, we're going to tape off everything around the windows, around the sub openings, port openings. Just make sure when we're going to go spray our clear, we don't get any overspray inside the box. Normally, if you don't have windows, I would say that's probably not an issue, but on something where you have plexiglass viewing windows, you definitely want to make sure you're not going to get any clear coat overspray inside. And as usual, I was way too impatient to leave the paper on, so I already took it off. So we'll have to do a little extra work, but I just can't help myself. It's like you really don't know what it looks like until you take the paper off the windows, and I always find myself just doing it way earlier than I ever should. I feel like I should probably wait till the very end, but also I feel like if I don't take off the paper, I'm not going to notice some like horrible gouge in it or something, or like defect until the end. And I just, you know what, I plain up like seeing the inside of the box. For those of you guys just tuning in, make sure you like this video, drop me a comment, let me know you're in here and watching, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Franco, what's up, man? Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll start getting some tape together. We're going to use lots and lots of tape on this thing. We got 13 people viewing. We should have 13 likes on this video. Let's run them likes up, guys. Chevy, what is up, man? Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, we lost viewers just on me telling people they should like the video. That's okay. We don't need them anyway. JR73, what's up, man? Sorry I didn't install the plexi. Did you seal off the windows between wood? No, on this one, actually, I just screwed it to the inside of the enclosure. I'll get a better view of it in a second for you. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to do it now before I forget, because I know I probably likely will. Hoping I don't lose the charge on the camera. Okay, we're going to rotate the box. Oh boy, I don't know if you're going to be able to see in there. All right, we're taking camera off the tripod. If I lose the stream, we're going to blame JR. course, camera's caught up on the tripod in every which way. Okay, so here's the inside of the box. Got the windows. They're screwed in around the perimeter, and I use silicone just to seal it off. I did make these windows, extend as far down as I could, just because the front is a single layer and there is so much being cut out for the ports and the windows. Wanted to add any little bit of bracing I possibly could to the situation. So that's how they're attached in there, and those ain't going nowhere. They're basically wedged in there, screwed in there, and silicone. Silicone really is, majority of that is just to make a good seal. I like using a sealant that is going to stay malleable or soft, basically for its duration. Because if you use a sealant that gets hard or dries up, it may crack on you over time. And with bass, even with all that bracing, the enclosure itself is going to have some slight reverberation, just in the nature of subwoofer boxes in general. So I worry on like sealants like that if they get dry and hard, like liquid nails, RPL, stuff like that, that eventually the seal on the window will go bad. I feel like the right thing to use in this situation is a silicone. And again, I'm not using it to secure it. It does hold it a tiny bit, but that's not the purpose of it. Really, the screws are going to hold it in. In other situations, I would sandwich it in between layers. It just kind of depends on the build itself and what kind of space we have here. This is 218s. I had to fit it in kind of a confined area. So we didn't necessarily even have, per se, the room to give up on a double layer wall to do something like that. That's even the reason you see all the bracing, is because that takes up substantially less area than doing double layer walls all the way around. Still went with the triple baffle, just because honestly I think anything less is just unacceptable. Personally, with the 3/4 Baltic birch, I like to do double layer. Really double layer on any build in general. And the triple, that's just a flush mount, but it is going to add some strength. Yeah, I guess you can argue that it might be a small amount of strength, but hey, anything that adds to the strength of the enclosure is going to make it better, because the stronger the enclosure, the better the bass, the more bass. Hopefully soon we're going to have a video of the Denali console come up. We got it installed. I didn't really do any lives during it, just because doing the vinyl wrapping, honestly, is a little nerve-wracking for me. Just a lot can go wrong, and I don't really feel like doing all that on live video. But yeah, we got it installed. It looks freaking amazing. Looks amazing, and it sounds, even better. I was shocked at how good this thing sounds. I'll tell you that much. He was kind of giving me a demo of it, and I think he was kind of leading me on a little bit, and it was funny because at first he was playing it, I'm like, no, that sounds pretty good, I guess. Like, nothing crazy, but hey, that sounds good. And then all of a sudden, like, the bass actually drops, and I'm like, oh my god, like, this thing is next level. I was definitely not expecting it to be that loud. That was one of the big worries with that situation and that build, is it was 215s in the center console, and as much as you try to do the math and planning, it's 215s in the center console. It's a lot of squeeze in there, but man, that thing sounds great. I believe some of you guys might have actually seen the build on Instagram or Facebook. I believe I've seen one of the regulars commenting on it on Facebook or Instagram, one of the other ones. Alright, so let's start throwing some tape on these windows. Get you guys a more interesting view of what's going to be going on. let me know, guys. I don't know what happened there. Thank you for letting me know, Michael Rose. Hopefully we have sound back.